close your eyes for a moment and imagine a small stone house in Galilee, the smell of warm bread drifting through an open window, olive oil, golden in a clay bowl, fish, fresh from the water, still cool to the touch. 2,000 years ago, in a quiet corner of the ancient world, a man sat down to eat. The same way you and I do. Bread, wine, herbs, honey. Tonight, we're not going to talk about miracles or sermons or crowds. We're just going to slow down and wonder about something very simple, something almost forgotten. What did Jesus actually eat? Let your body sink into the bed. Let your shoulders soften. And let's drift gently into the kitchens of ancient Galilee. In first century Judea, bread was the center of almost every meal. Not the soft, pillowy bread we know today, but a dense, flat barley or wheat loaf baked in clay ovens or on hot stones. Wheat bread was for those with a little more means. Barley bread, coarser and heartier, was the daily bread of most ordinary people: farmers, fishermen, carpenters. Picture the hands of a mother in Nazareth, kneading dough in the cool of the early morning. The soft thud of dough against a wooden board, the smell of grain and ash and warmth. Bread wasn't just food, it was shared, torn, never cut, passed from hand to hand around a low table, everyone reaching in together. There was no such thing, really, as eating alone. Across the hills of Galilee, silver-green olive trees stretched toward the sun, some of them so old they may have already stood 100 years by the time Jesus walked beneath them. Olives were eaten whole, cured in brine, wrinkled and salty. And olive oil touched almost everything, drizzled over bread, used for cooking, even burned in lamps to light the evening. If you've ever tasted good olive oil, warm and peppery at the back of the throat, you've tasted something very close to what filled the tables of that world. Slow, golden, unchanged for centuries. Much of Jesus' early life took place near the Sea of Galilee, a wide, calm, freshwater lake ringed with fishing villages. Fishermen went out before dawn, nets heavy and dripping, hauling in tilapia, sometimes still called St. Peter's fish today, along with sardines and carp. The fish were often salted and dried so they could last, or grilled simply over coals until the skin turned crisp and the flesh flaked apart white and tender. Imagine the low crackle of a fire near the shore, the lake dark and glassy in the evening light, someone laughing quietly, someone humming an old tune, the fish turning slowly over the flame. This was an ordinary evening. On humbler days, meals were built around lentils and beans, simmered for hours into a thick, earthy stew, flavored with cumin, coriander, and wild herbs gathered from the hillside. Dates, figs, and pomegranates added sweetness, along with wild honey. The same golden honey mentioned so often in old stories, drizzled over bread or eaten straight from the comb. Nuts, too, almonds and pistachios, cracked open slowly by firelight. Everything grown nearby, everything shaped by the seasons. Nothing hurried out of the ground before its time. If there's one thing that stays with us, more than any single food, it's this. Meals in that world were never eaten quickly and never eaten alone. They were an act of belonging. Neighbors invited in, strangers welcomed, bread broken and passed, cup shared, hands touching hands. Jesus ate simply. Bread, fish, oil, wine, lentils, honey. Foods pulled from hillsides and lakes and small stone ovens. Nothing extravagant, nothing hurried, just the quiet, sacred rhythm of people gathering again and again around the same small table. So tonight, as you drift off, imagine that table, the low light of an oil lamp, the smell of warm bread and olive oil, the soft murmur of voices growing quieter and quieter and quieter still. Let the ancient evening settle over you. Let your breathing slow and sleep now, gently, the way the world once did, before anything was in a hurry at all.